Hello, everybody, and welcome to the local pundit. I am Aaron, the Hoosier Wrexham fan on Twitter. Uh, this is our last show, which kind of it's kind of sad because I love doing these shows. But we get to cover the midfielders, which is exciting because there's lots of different ways you can look at it. What do we need? What kind of midfielders do we need? Where do we need? What type of midfielder do we need? Lots of stuff we can get into, but we've got several options I've brought up and we can talk about. A lot of them you've heard of, a lot of them you haven't. So we will get into it and we'll let you guys tell me how wrong or right I am. Good to see lots of people in the chat. I've got Esteban. I have the game in the background. So if if something happens and you chime in with something in the chat, I'm kind of watching it also. So if you see me looking to my left here, I'm looking at the game. So yeah, we got plenty to talk about with the midfield. Yes, Patrick Oden, thanks for coming in. Uh, let's see, there, Patrick, he's in here for sure. Not a Dutch fan. No, I don't know who's not a Dutch fan. I don't really care either way about this match. I don't have a. I'm not leaning either way. We got Nick Donald in here. Already said Esbon, Ruth's in, and of course, guys. Let's see. So he's in the background. He's working in the background. He's already throwing stuff up. How much will Wrexham spend in the summer 2026 window? And of course, the only person that can pull that off, because I haven't figured out how to do the the polls yet. It's the man of the hour, the man with the power. It's too sweet to be sour. He is Patty Power. That was better this
Hello.
time. What's up, buddy?
Suzuki pulled a nice save off there.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, yeah. Oh shoot. No, this is out of curiosity. Where are you at time wise? If you're ahead, are you ahead or behind me? Can you see it?
444.
Okay, yeah, you're about 20 seconds ahead. I think that's all right. No big deal. We'll be talking about this other stuff anyway. But it'll be interesting to see how much everybody thinks we're gonna spend in the summer. I'm I'm interested to see what we can spend. Because like with the rule changes, I wonder how much that's gonna change things. You know what I mean? Um since it's
Yeah,
going year to year, you don't have as much play. I mean, I know we'll be able to spend a lot, but
we'll be able to spend a lot. Like you look at the accounting, we had 40% wages or something.
yeah, yeah,
So we've a lot of space there at the moment. Until
yeah,
we cycle through all our players and have them all championship purchase players, then we're going to start getting tight because we do spend nicely on the wages.
yeah, yeah. I'm thinking. See, the chat's going. Looks like it's going 30 to 40. I'm gonna say 20 to 30. I think 20 to 30 makes
Ooh.
sense to me. Yeah, I think just on because I think the wages are going to be obvious. I mean, obviously, we had a big jump in wages last season. You know what I mean? All those players we
Mhm.
brought in, they didn't come in cheap. You know what I mean? We're paying them pretty good. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if our wage budget doubled last season with the
Yeah,
players we came in with, which cuts into what you can spend on your transfers. So it'll be interesting.
but
I think we won't spend quite as much as we did last year.
But at the same time, you kind of look at someone like Coventry,
Hmm.
who didn't have parachute payments,
Yeah.
and an entire team of players. Their wages must be up there. You know, same
Yeah, I
kind of a
don't.
shit
Yeah,
with United. They had pushed it up, but they did have some parachute money. So
yeah.
yeah, I
It's
think there's a lot of
interesting
space
what
right
the.
now, but
Hmm.
the year after, I think next year is going to be the one that we'll have to be a little bit more careful of, depending, of course, on how much we're growing our revenues.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Trying to see. So here's a good question. Hunter wants to know, what do you think the odds are we go in for a 15 million striker as well as a 10 million pound keeper? Uh, use it us refusing to buy at the proper level has hurt us.
I disagree. I would make an argument not buying well in January maybe hurt us.
Yeah.
But because we didn't buy anybody who made the team better, who ultimately made any difference after the January window. That I would say, I don't think buying at the proper level, we got there. We got close to the playoffs. We're not a top 2 challenging team yet. That was never expected by anybody. So we're not there yet. I don't expect top 2 this season either. For me, top 2 might be the season after. Then you can realistically say, okay, now a couple of more heads that can really make a difference. Then we might be able to challenge for top 2.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think that. And to answer the question, 15 plus 10, no, I don't see 25 million on 2 players. But who knows? My answer is no. But I think we could go for someone of that record-breaking amount for us, 15 million, if we didn't have to do a keeper.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It'll be interesting to see how the keeper situation pans out, because with you know, I mean, I'm so tore on it. I'm still tore on it. I don't know what I think the best move is. I do think we could get a better keeper in, but is it going to be a big enough difference to make it worth the money that it might cost? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless AO's just not going to sign, then it's different. Yeah. I think that changes things. But if we can get him signed up to a deal, then I think that's probably the best bet. I think if in the overall picture for me. But
as of yet, I haven't seen enough from Ward. I would like AO to be our number 2. I think he still has number 2 spot in him, even if we upgrade next season. Even, if we get a deal done for a couple of seasons now and bring in a new number 1 next year, I still think he's good enough to be our solid number 2, and then maybe move to another championship team at some point.
Let's see. So Yuda, I haven't looked at him. Not looked at him. I haven't looked at him. So I don't know. I'll take your word for it.
No, we've already covered keepers, so we're not gonna go back on that.
Yeah. Let's see. What's James Lee saying here? Said 30 to 40 before we factor in AO being sold. It's 8 to 10 going in the piggy bank.
Yeah, the problem is though, if we have to spend on a keeper, it's going to reduce the rest of our budget for the other players, is my opinion. We might cover some of it. We might put in an extra 5 million or what have you because of the keeper issue now, but I don't think we're going to be able to cover all of the cost of a new keeper this season and still do the plan for the outfield players. There'll have to be a cutback somewhere, I think.
Esteban says we should look at that beach guy from the Australian team. That guy was a beast last night. I think the only problem is with him. I agree. He looked really good. I don't see Parky doing something like that, bringing in an unproven entity. I think if he's going to bring a keeper in, he wants one that he knows will absolutely do it at this level, no questions. And I'm not saying the beach can't do it at this level. It's just he hasn't done it at this level. He's playing at, I think he's at Melbourne. Is he at Melbourne, I think? So I was looking last night. I can't remember. He's playing in Australia. He's in one of the Australian teams. So I don't know if he'll do something like that. I think it'll be if he brings a keeper in, I think it's going to be a proven, like one of the guys we talked about. More than likely. I think there's a couple that are the most likely.
One of the reasons I don't want to do it right now is because to get someone capable for the Prem is near impossible. Now, they might become your number 2. Okay, fine. But it's that in between. It's too big a jump. You're still going to need another keeper. I would prefer to risk it with AO and Ward for now. And if we happen to go up, then bring in 2 younger, unchallenged keepers that are good enough for the Prem and have them fight it out. If you want to keep your costs down, you can bring in good quality keepers that are unproven. But if you have 2 of them fighting it out for that number 1 spot, that kind of covers your bases a little bit with going for new keepers.
Oh, let's see. Drop that. I'll just be really sad if we make no major moves before the U.S. tour.
Very likely with the World Cup, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's gonna be late. If you remember, like last season when we went on the Australian tour, it was. I mean, there weren't many changes. I think we had. Who do we have in? We had
Hardy.
Hardy. Was there anybody else?
Wasn't it Hardy and Ward? I think
Ward,
it was Hardy and Ward.
Ward was early. Yeah, Ward was early. So it's Hardy and Ward. So as many players we brought in last season, none of them were in before that. And we were back late July. You know, they were back in Wales late July, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, they didn't get anybody until then. Dyson Maeda, I love him. I like him. I didn't include him today, but I thought about it. He's really good. I had him in. I think I had him in the January show. That's why I left him off. But I really like Dyson Maeda. I think he's looking for a Premier League move or like a Bundesliga or something move though. I think he's kind of holding out. He's at Celtic currently, so I think he plays a striker for them most of the time, but he can play in a 10 role too. If we needed him, he could definitely play a 10 for us. He's a really good player. Anyway, so let's get into it. Oops, in here. Oh boy, I messed up my chat. Here we go. Okay, let's dig into this. Attacking. We're gonna start with the attacking midfielders.
Okay.
And me and you were just having a quick little chat before the show kicked off. What do you think, or what would you do? Let's do it that way. What would you do in that department? How many how many would you get? What type of player would you go for? What are you looking for in one of our number 10? Assuming we're playing the 3-4-3. I guess we got to make that assumption first.
Mm.
What kind of player are you looking for as the number 10? One of the number 10s.
It's an interesting one because I know everybody's been calling out for another one, but I think we're fairly stocked with what we have. It's not a priority for me. I know it's a priority for everyone else, and if the right person falls in our lap, spend the money. Yeah, I have no problem with that because it is an area. If you get the right guy, then it could be a massive improvement on the team. But the team is not lacking goals at the moment. So that's why for me, I'll be interested to see who we have and how much better they might be. Because here's the problem. If they're not guaranteed to be a lot better, I don't know that it's worth it.
Yeah.
Not comfortable with DKD and some of the other players being amazing. You know, I'm not. That's okay. But I do have faith in Broadhead and some of the other players we have. And I know we're getting rid of J-Rod. So someone will be coming in for that role. So we have a space there. I expect someone to come in. But it could go from anywhere. It could be a young guy who might prove himself immediately or might need a year or 18 months, right up to an experienced head like J-Rod, or it could be the 26-year-old that comes in and just blasts goals for fun, you know, that we pay a fortune for. All options are on the table. And I'm interested to see who you've put on the list.
Yeah, I've got a lot. I've got a couple. I've done 4. What I've kind of stuck with our program. I've done 4, and we'll see what the chat likes. And then if we get to them, there's a couple extra we can get to at the end if we want to. But I've got 4. I'm kind of I basically agree with you. I don't think we have to do anything there, and I think there's definitely other positions I'd prefer to get taken care of early. You know what I mean? And get you
Mm.
first. Yeah, I think we prioritize obviously the wing backs. I think you prioritize, um, and maybe a defensive midfielder. I think I'm a little more. I'd prefer us to get one of those over a attacking midfielder. You know what I mean? I think that's more important for me, because I think we saw when we just don't quite have the quality and depth at that position. I think that hurt us a lot later in the season, where we just didn't have the guys that could step in and fill those roles to the level that we need them to fill. And you fill them. So I'm kind of, I think I'm with you. I think if we're gonna go, I'd like to get us, bring in a big one. I think spend a little money on one if you're gonna make sure it's an improvement. But I'm happy with the first two. I think Windass and Broadhead, I think, are fantastic when they're both on and they're playing well. That's those two are great.
Yeah, I
Go
didn't
ahead.
mention the defensive mids, but that's the big one for me.
Hmm.
Assuming we're going to go back to that box midfield and
Yeah.
have the double pivot at deeper in the line, we need someone else in there. James and Sheaf are not enough there because we saw it when they got injured. We need someone else, and the guys are a little bit older. You know, they're steady, they're good, fine. We need someone else to back up that spot. If we're going to go with a middle three, I'm less concerned because we have multiple players that can kind of drop in and play that role. However, I don't really want us to. I want us to get back to that box midfield. That was when we were playing our best football.
Yep.
And watching Welcome to Wrexham again just reminded me how good Broadhead can be when he's on it and when he's playing in the right formation and everything is working together. His talent is absolutely apparent from watching the way he plays. But
He's.
we need to figure out how he works within our system and what
I'm.
system we're playing. And he needs
Yeah.
to get more comfortable with that.
Yeah. I'm convinced he's the best player in the team when he's playing well. When he's playing at his best, he's the best player we have. I'm convinced of that. I think that
Mm.
was the case when we went on that good run in January. So late December into January into early February. I think where we went. I can't remember how many games it was. We went on a really good run there. We had a really good stretch where I
Mm.
think we were over a certain amount of games. I think we were the best team. Either the had won the most points in the division, or we're second, or we're tied with somebody. We're right there. Like we had a run where it like 10 or 12 games where we were right at the top of the division as far as points gained. And that was when he was playing his best. We were playing that 3-4-3 every game, and it was
Mm.
working. The midfield was right. You had Sheaf and James playing well. It was
Yeah.
everything was working right. And then when people started to get injured, that's when it kind of fell off. And so yeah, so we'll see. We'll get into defensive mids a little later, but let's get into the attacking mids. I'm sure everybody's tired of hearing us yap. We're 18 minutes into this thing, and I ain't even shown you a player yet. So let's bring some guys in. First off, Tatsuhiro Sakamoto. Speaking of Japan, I know somebody mentioned it. That was the last show somebody mentioned, or maybe it was in the chat. I can't remember what it was. Somebody mentioned about some Japanese players. It might have been in the Discord. I can't remember now. But Sakamoto was one of the better. I thought he was one of the better players I saw against us all season. I thought he was fantastic. Now he played for Coventry as a winger, but he can absolutely play as a 10. He can play inside, especially the way we play our wingers anyway, or our
Mhm.
10s.
Yeah.
They can slide out. They have that freedom. They can do whatever they want to do. You know what I mean? So for me, I think he's fantastic. He got 7 goals, 3 assists, created 1.3 chances per 90, 0.94 successful dribbles per 90, and he's not going to cost a ton of money. Here's the thing, too. I think I mean, I don't know for sure that he's going to be available. I'm fairly confident that he will be, and here's why. They signed him to a 2-year deal, in before the season. It was late in the 24-25 campaign. So they looked at him and said, okay, I think their thoughts were, he's good enough here, probably not good enough for the championship or for the Premier League. He's 29. He's not, you know what I mean? At a certain point, he's probably going to fall off,
2-year
But right
contracts
now,
means that they're not taking him to the Prem.
yeah, they're not super confident. They weren't giving him a 4-year deal, and he's a great player. So I think, that's just how they were looking at it. And I think I'd feel good with giving him something similar. And I think we could pay him more money too. I don't think they're paying him a ton of money. But he absolutely is. I mean, he works hard. He screams a Parky player because he runs everywhere. He's running. Whereas, like, there were times you'd see Broadhead defensively kind of disappear a little bit. You know what I mean? He just kind of. I don't know. I don't think he's as comfortable defending. Sakamoto will absolutely run his socks off. You know what I mean? In defense, he runs everywhere. So I think that's a guy I'd love to get in, whether it was a loan to buy deal or on a permanent. I would absolutely love to get him in. So he's probably one of my favorite ones. I don't know. There's a few others that I think are pretty good too, but I think Sakamoto would just, I'd love it. I'd love having him in. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. 2-year contract plus an option for a third season.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me for someone like that, who is basically, his only job is to get us to the Prem, get us another promotion, and he's happy with that. He's comfortable, decent money, great player. Not breaking the bank for it. Yeah, I think we can afford to do that.
Yeah, I think he'd be fantastic. FOTMOP's got another 3.88 million. I can't. I don't disagree with that. I don't see him selling just because the age. I don't see him selling him for a ton of money. You know what I mean? If he was 24, I think he's a 10 million pound player. You know what I mean? Easily. But the fact that he's 29, I think, is holding that value down a little bit. And they may want more than that, but I mean, he's worth it. I wouldn't be upset if we spent 5 or 6 on him because I think he's that good. But that's my thoughts on him. Let's move on. Let's get another one in here. See what we think. Seems like the chat likes Sakamoto. Alfie Divine. Lots to talk about Alfie. And I was I'll be honest, I was wasn't sure where to plug him in because he kind of plays, I think for Preston, he's played more of an 8 role. Was kind of in between, kind of a center mid. You could argue he could play deeper, which isn't a bad thing. But I think with the output he was given offensively, I think an attacking mid probably fits him pretty well. You know what I mean? So this is where I stuck him. That's kind of where I'm thinking. If we're playing that, and actually I think it works to Parky's favor because he likes to drop it into that. He likes to change formation a little bit anyway. And if you wanted to drop back into a 3-man midfield, or whatever you want to call it, 1 holder and 2 8s, I think Alfie Divine is perfect for that. But he can also, he plays further forward. He gets forward. Obviously, you can see that 8 goals, 6 assists in a team that's wasn't fantastic. You know what I mean? They especially towards the end of the season, they struggled a little bit. They were good early, but they started to drop off pretty hard after Christmas. But he's 21, so he's the right age. He's 5'10". I mean, he played basically every game last season, at least a little bit. So injuries aren't an issue. Chances created 29.6, successful dribbles per 90, 0.58. So he didn't run with the ball as much. They've got a market value on him around 6. Obviously, this is one I don't think I've seen any solid links to him, but he's one that gets mentioned a lot. You know what I mean? He because I think the age and how well he's done. And of course, he's at Tottenham. He was at Preston on loan. Tottenham, I think Preston had a deal. I think the Preston deal was a loan to buy, and I think it was a 5 million buy clause. It was either 4 or 5. And I think he's basically declined to accept their contract offer, or at
Okay.
least so far. That's been the rumors. So he's going to have a lot of interest in him.
At that
So
range, yeah.
yeah, I mean, it depends on who's going to want. That's going to drive that price up. So it could jump to 8 or even 10. Depending on who gets involved. You get one of maybe if there's a Premier League team that wants him, even if he's not going to play necessarily a bunch for him, maybe they bring him in just because he's young. Somebody like that gets in, that drives that price up. So, Chris says, can we realistically get Alfie? I think we can. I think we absolutely can, because I think we can compete with anybody in our division as far as wages and price. I mean, I think here's the thing. I think some of the teams, like Wolves or West Ham will be able to spend they'll be able to spend more money. But I also think if they're going to spend more money, they're going to I could see them spending it on somebody that they're convinced is Premier League quality.
Yeah.
I don't know if I mean, I think a lot of people think he can get there, but I don't know that he's like the guaranteed, he's going to be playing in the Prem in 3 years. You know what I mean? I don't think there's that level. Now, maybe if he has another good season next season, then maybe that you think that.
Yeah, because if that's a fair and valid point. If you look at Wolves and West Ham, they're both basically saying we're going back up next season. Well, so they have to make the calculation here now. Will he be ready next year?
Well, and you look at the players they're bringing in too. I mean, they're bringing in guys that shouldn't be coming to the championship.
Yeah, so they'll be going a bit stronger is the point. Whereas you look at the likes of us in Birmingham. If he goes to one of us, the expectation is a good shot within 2 years and probably up within 3. That's what you at least are telling yourself. You know what I mean? With the quality of squad and the money and backing behind, you're looking at preferably 2 years promotion, but 3, would certainly be a very good shot. Would what you'd say to yourself. So yeah, I think we could do it. Who would you most directly say he's comparable with on our team? In position wise and where you put him? Like who is he taking the spot from?
O'Brien or Rathbone.
Okay.
I think those are the two. I think he's similar to like that type of player. Right. Kind of that number 8 that's box to box and absolutely can get forward. But the difference with him is over both of those guys, and you can argue Rathbone has done pretty well. He will absolutely get in. He will score goals and he will create chances. You know what I mean? That's what he's going to do for sure. So I think he's fantastic. I think he's just a level plus the age. He's 21, so you expect he gets better.
Yeah.
But yeah, James Lee says West Ham hasn't brought anyone in. We're in the middle of a hostile takeover and ownership. We don't even have an acting director of football. That's fair. John Merrill's popping in. Hey, that's fine. Pop in whenever. It's okay. You're 30 minutes late, dude. No big deal.
That's a valid point, and you know what? I hope it screws them up.
I do too.
I hope all this change of ownership and all the messing about in this summer lets them leave everything very late and just makes things a lot harder for them.
Yeah. I hope Wolves have issues. I hope the coaching change issue at Wolves causes them issues too. It's going to be interesting. But okay, so there's Alfie Devine.
Maybe it's not such a lock for the top 2. We'll see.
You never know. I think so far he's not accepted their contract offer. John, that's the problem. He's turned him down. I think he's got his he's got his head turned because bigger clubs
bigger team.
Yeah, I think he's turned them down. So I don't, or at least they're still negotiating. I think that's the line coming out of the club. But they've activated it, but he's not accepted their deal. That's the kicker. They've activated the clause to buy him the $5 million. The problem is
He has to
he's
get
not
his own deal.
accepted that.
Yeah.
He's not accepted a contract. So that's the line coming out right now. They're in negotiations, and I think if he was going to do it, he'd have done it already. So I think
they've had enough time
yeah,
to iron this stuff out if he wanted to stay.
Yep, for sure. But all right, so let's move on to the next one. This one I like a lot. Martin Adeline. So we were linked to a player, and I'm blanking on his name right now. Linked to a French player about a month ago. I don't know if you remember his name right off the top of your head, but and so it got me looking at the French league.
Sharif?
And no, not Sharif. It was the other. There
Not
was an
Sharif.
attacking mid we were linked. There was it's a smaller. He was a smaller guy. Really ran around, played really well. I think this guy's better. He's got better numbers in the same league. And I mean, he is getting. I think what I did see, West Ham were linked to Martin Adeline like a couple weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago. So he's, and that's one I think be interesting if we can get him. But because there's definitely other teams looking at him, just put it that way. But he's 22. 5'11". He played 32 out of, I think they play 34 in the second division in France. They got promoted. I think that team got promoted. Now that I say that, I'm not sure that's right, but pretty sure they did. Pretty sure they won the league actually. But anyway, 10 goals, 10 assists. That's the big one. So he's creating everything. He's unbelievable. Chances created point per 90. 2.29 chances per 90. It's unbelievable. Successful dribbles not as much, so he's not carrying the ball as much, but he absolutely is creating up top. He's getting into good places. The kid, you watch him, he scores unbelievable goals. He's a little more physical, size-wise. He's not a giant, but he's not where the other kid that we were linked with, and I'm sorry, I blanked on his name.
Bardelli?
Yes,
Enzo Bardelli.
Yes, and he actually signed for another club. He's off the table for us anyway. But Bardelli signed for another club the other day, so we won't be getting him. But Adeline is bigger than him, physically bigger. And I mean, he just looks better. He looks like a better player for me. Not the top French league. This is the second division. But I think they got promoted, Chris. But yeah, he looks fantastic. So there are some links to England. There have been some links to England lately. So we'll see if that's somebody we can get into. I think this would be a great signing for me. I think it'd be fantastic. But what was the market value on Divine? Transfermarkt had him at 6. I think if he doesn't sign at, I think Preston have a $5 million. I'm sorry, I'm talking to Paul Kelly. I'll bring his comment up so everybody knows what I'm talking about. What was the market value on Divine? Couldn't see it. Preston had a $5 million buy clause at the end of the loan that they've activated, but he's not been willing to sign for him yet. And Transfermarkt got him a 6, I think. I think it'll probably take more than that to get him. So it won't be a cheap one. Divine won't be a cheap one for sure. Anyway, on this kid, they've got him a market value at 8.6. He does have there were some French top division teams sniffing around as well. Not giant teams, but I think there'd be some there'll be some money sniffing around him. You know what I mean? So he'll have his options for sure. I mean, when you're putting out numbers like that at 22, you're going to have a lot of interest. So, what do you think about this one, Patty?
It's an interesting one. Not an absolute ready-made. Not in a top division at the moment, but shows the kind of quality that may make it far in the future. But it's a little bit of a question, isn't it? Like, how much would you pay for him? Like, would you drop 6, 7, 8 million on him untested, unproven in the second division?
I mean, I guess I'll be honest. I think it depends on how does the level, and I don't know how the second division in France compares to the second division in England. And that's the thing. What trying to compare leagues is not easy. Now I know they'll have access to stuff that will give them a better comparison than what we're going to have. They're going to know just by looking at players. They'll have databases where you'll be able to, okay, well, this player made this, and you're going to see how players have transitioned back and forth, and they're going to know. So they'll have a better idea of that. So I mean, but for me, I mean, if they thought the other guy, if Bardelli was good enough, then I mean, he's playing in the same league and he did better. So I mean, you see what I'm saying? So I think it's, I don't think they'd be worried about that. Now maybe you get Bardelli cheaper. And as a matter of fact, I think he might have been on a free. He may have been on a free actually, which might have been part of the interest in him. But this Martin Adeline, I think I think he'd be freaking awesome, to be honest with you. So that's where I'm at. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say what I would spend because I don't know like how they, I need more info.
Do you know what I would like to do with someone like this, if it was possible, is this is the type of player I would ask to do a loan to buy.
Yeah.
If they're looking for 6 million or whatever would get it over the line now, I'd be more willing to say, okay, look, let's make it 8, but it's a loan to buy. So we send them back if he doesn't do well enough, but we'll pay you the extra if he's had a good season with us. Something like that I would much prefer, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. James says he's the type of signing that lets Wrexham experiment with Thompson O'Brien as our defensive mid. Okay. Interesting. All right, let's move on. Let's get to the next one. Get to our fourth attacking mid. And this one's going to be interesting. Now, I know James Lee likes this one, but we were attacked. Me and James were attacked in the Discord when this was mentioned. And so now I got to fight it out with everybody. Giovanni Reyna, okay, U.S. international, scored a goal the other night. He's 23. All right. He's been playing in the Bundesliga. Now, this season, he's kind of fallen into more of a substitute role. So he's not gotten as many minutes. But if you look at his stats, chances created per 90, this is in the Bundesliga. This is the top league in Germany. This is what I'd say a lot of people would argue is either the second or third top league in the world. I mean, is that a fair statement, I think? Okay, second or third. I think you argue maybe La Liga could be better, but it's probably between those two for second, with Premier League being first. Giovanni Reyna is creating 2.29 chances per 90 minutes. Successful dribbles, 1.76 per 90 minutes. Okay. Giovanni Reyna is absolutely too good for the championship. He's better than the champion. He would be a player if we could get him. Josh just said it. Absolute steal of a player, especially if we could get him for the money that they're talking. I don't know you could get him quite that cheap, I think he is on a long-term deal. Giovanni Reyna, just watch him play. He looks miles above players that he's playing against in the Bundesliga. And it's a good league. It's a good league. Josh says it's fourth. Where are you ranking? Who you ranking ahead of it, Josh?
Okay, I have the list here. I pulled it up because I wanted to see.
Okay.
The first is Premier League. We all know that. Second, Serie A, Italy.
They got Serie A above it. Really?
Look, this is 26 rankings. Maybe people are not happy with it. Anyway, third is La Liga, Spain. Fourth is Ligue 1, France. Fifth is the Bundesliga.
Really?
Germany.
Okay. All right.
Sixth is the Pro League in Belgium.
Okay.
Seventh is the Championship.
Wow.
Eighth is Liga Portugal. Ninth is the Serie A.
Ooh, Japan just about scored. Sorry. I'm sorry.
And 10th is the MLS.
Okay.
By the global rankings.
Yeah, that's what. See, John's to your point, John. Yeah, he's on a long-term deal, so I don't know that you're going to get him that cheap. But they barely played him this season. If they could get something out of him, and
another potential loan to buy here.
Yeah, this absolutely that reeks of a loan to buy deal. Actually, absolutely. I think Giovanni Reyna, and I'll tell you what, I think he got I think there's a lot of I don't know how to say it. I think he got some bad press because after the last World Cup, there was a little bit, and he was like 18, I think, in the last. He was young. He was younger in the last World Cup. Obviously, he was younger, 20 maybe. But he basically he was going into that World Cup. Most people were kind of like, it's Giovanni Reyna and Christian Pulisic are our best players. And then we go into that World Cup, and Greg Berhalter, with all his genius, decided that he's not going to play Giovanni Reyna. And so we get our fucking asses waxed in that. In that, oh my God, they about scored again. We get our asses waxed in that World Cup. Yeah, Gio Reyna is an unbelievable player. I think that all that happened, I think he lost a lot of confidence. But I think when he was 18, I think it was 18, his 18-year-old season, he was. I mean, let me look it up. I'll tell you the season, and we can figure out the age. He had a really good season at Borussia Dortmund, because he was at Dortmund before he went to Gladbach. Let's see, let me find him real quick. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Actually, let's just do this. Just look him up. Gio. There we go. Okay, so career. So in his best season, he had a good run at Dortmund from basically 2020-21 season to the 22-23 season, where he went in the 2020-2021 season, played 46 games for him. That's obviously with cups and everything. He scored 7 goals and had 6 assists. That's at Bundesliga level. And then the next season, I think he had an injury that held him up. And then in the 22-23 season, he came back and had played 30 games, which Bundesliga only plays 34, I think, or 36 maybe. But he had another 7 goals and 4 assists. So he's been a good player at that level for a while. He got a short-term loan deal over at Nottingham Forest. He only played 10 games. It was kind of a short deal. I did get 1 assist there, and that was in the Prem. So I think Gio Reyna is going to be. I think he can be a great player. I think he is absolutely. I think get him confident. That's the type of player that can play in the Premier League.
Yeah,
I think he actually does have that in him. Like, I would be more convinced at his quality than others. Now he does seem like maybe he's mentally just needs. I think a move to the championship would be great for him because I think he'd immediately be one of the best players, and I think he'd start playing well again. And I'll tell you what, I think that goal the other night is going to do him a world of good because just good, you know what I mean? I think he needed that, But yeah, I think Gio Reyna would be unbelievable if he could make it happen. So,
do we know how much they bought him for? Because I know he's on a long contract, but his market value is now currently down at, they're saying, 3.5.
Yeah.
So can they get out of the deal? You know what I mean? At a reasonable value, can we cover it?
Let me
Take
look.
it kind of.
I'm gonna look it up right now. See if I can find it.
Because of course, this does absolutely look like a loan to buy, where you could offer greater than his value as a guaranteed purchase price. But if the value is down so low at the moment, is it worth it just kind of letting them get out of it?
Yeah. Well, I'm looking up transfer. I think Transfer Mark gives you the transfer values when they went. Sorry, guys. Yeah, he's
new poll in the chat, guys.
Yes.
We said enough. Make your mind up. Hit 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the chat in order to join the poll.
Okay. So he went to them at the beginning of this past season for €4 million.
So we can get them out of it if they're moving on from him. He can afford £4 million or whatever to just get a deal, move him out.
Yeah. John says €7 million in total. Maybe there's some add-ons. Maybe there might have been some add-ons to that, possibly, or something. But yeah, the transfer mark said 4. Yeah.
Yeah, they get the add-ons. So,
right. Yeah. Exactly. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'd take him in a heartbeat. I think he'd be unbelievable. Seems like the chat agrees. Chat likes him.
Like even out of 5 million, that sounds like an absolute shot. The
other thing with him too, he has played a little deeper. He can play deeper if you want him to. He can play that 8 role, and I think he could probably play 6 in a 2. I don't know that he's done it a ton, but he's more of an attacking player. I mean, he's played on the wing. He's played as a 10. So generally, he's an attacking player, but he can also back up. You know what I mean? What John says: 4 up front, and 3 in add-ons. Reading the expos. There you go. Okay, cool. He looks it up on X there. That works. So yeah, I'm the only other. That's wild. Chat's like totally in on Gio Reyna. The only other person who's got a vote is Alfie Divine. I'll be honest. We also get a lot of pushback in the Discord. I didn't think anybody. I thought everybody was down on him. I can't remember who it was. If you're in the chat, holler at me. I can't remember who it was in the Discord that they didn't like the output, But I'm like, you got to look at the level and also how much he's playing. You know what I mean? You can't. A player that's a substitute in the Bundesliga is probably going to be a starter in the he's going to be a much better championship player. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just because of the levels of the divisions. And there's no guarantee. I mean, he could come and just not do anything. Who knows? Nothing's a GOT. Nothing's a guarantee. But I think, boy, if you could get Giovanni Reyna, that'd be unbelievable. It was funny though. I'd already had him worked up because I had him on my list anyway because I knew he'd not been playing much at Gladbach, and so I thought maybe, and I hadn't done it yet, and then he scored that goal, and I was like, I gotta include him, And then James Lee comes in and mentioned him in the Discord, and I posted it in there. I was like, yep, way ahead of you, buddy. But yeah, he's a fantastic player. I think he'd be great. But I'd be happy. I'll be honest. Any of those 4, I'd be super happy with, and I could make an argument for any of them. I think it's another one of those things where just a bunch of good players that we could get, you know. But I think Gio, if we could get him, especially, I mean, if you get him for around 4 or 5,
Yeah.
well, that's a steal. That's an absolute. That's robbery. You know what I mean? Call the police because that's robbery. To be fair, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
and you know what? If he ever want to get to the Prem, he needs to start making moves now.
Yeah.
Because 2 seasons he'll be 25. He'll be hitting that borderline that the Prem teams won't take him.
Yep, for sure. And here's the other thing too. Some players will say, "Well, I want to play in a top division because of the playing in the national team, and it looks better." You know what I mean? Playing, even being a sub in the Bundesliga looks better than being a starter in the championship. It just does. You know what I mean? To a lot of coaches, they just kind of look at the level you're playing at, and so they may prefer that. But here's the thing: there's not another World Cup for 4 years.
4 years.
So
yeah.
He's got time.
That doesn't really matter anymore. Yeah,
exactly. Where that's over. You know, he doesn't have to worry about that.
Whereas at his age, you bring him in, he's on a 4-year deal.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and if we go up in 3 years' time, he's 26. He's definitely in our squad. Well, unless of course he's had bad seasons. Like leaving that aside, if he's playing well and improving himself, he would make our Prem squad. Now, whether he'd be a starter completely depends on his level, but he's of an age profile that he could certainly remain and be on the bench.
Yeah,
when we get there,
sure.
He's still young enough and still in that profile.
Yep, absolutely. Wrexham, Tennessee says, "Do y'all think we make any moves as far as additions this week?" Nope, I don't.
No, the only one is the Portsmouth guy.
Yeah, that would be the only one.
Because that's been talked about for so long. Looking for him in January. If a deal has been done, it's been done. He can come in quick. Otherwise, no, I don't see anyone else really.
Yeah.
And Parky has kind of intimated that don't be expecting anything early because of the World Cup and everything else going on.
Yeah. No, Andrew, he hasn't. That's not so. We'd have no idea that he'd do it. That's what we're just talking about. Like, there's no guarantee that he would do it because of the levels. You know what I mean?
But interestingly, like he's in a. He has to make a decision now, whether he would like to or whether he would not like to. If he's on the outs and if he's not going to get playing time, then what does he want? Does he want to ride a bench or not even be on the bench and just be completely left out? So his next option is either to come to the championship or drop down a level, potentially, So,
yeah. Wrexham, Tennessee. How do you vote? You just whichever number. Say if you want to vote for Gio Reyna, you just type the number 4 in the chat, and that's it. Or
nothing else, just a number.
Whichever. Yep, just the number. Don't add anything else to it. Just put the number in the chat, and it'll count your vote. All right. So there's our attacking midfielders that I've got right now. Looks like Gio Reyna has absolutely ran away with it, which makes sense. I just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how people would react because like I said in the Discord, we got a little pushback on it. So I don't know. I'm actually surprised a little bit. Thought Sakamoto might get a little more. I know people like Sakamoto. But
it's an interesting one because you know what? I don't think you're going to get too much pushback on any of these players if we sign them. Because they're all actually high enough quality and at decent price ranges versus who they are, what their abilities are, that all of these would be quite a solid pick, as a signing. I don't think anyone would be unhappy with it. Like Giovanni and Alfie, I think Alfie has potentially a lot of upside as well. Of course, in the right team. Sakamoto is just a serious championship player who would do well for us, but he has the age profile and other stuff there on him. And Adeline is kind of a little bit of a shot in the dark. Could be amazing, and again at the right price profile for taking that shot with him.
Yep.
So.
For sure. Esteban says, "Who is Solace?" John probably tell you more about. I think Birmingham's about got that signing wrapped up. Sounds like. I think he's going to Birmingham.
Yeah.
I don't know much about him. John can let us in on that one. Okay. So defensive midfielders. Let's drop this. Let's have a little chat. I know we kind of already did a little bit. Defensive midfield. Like we talked about earlier, we definitely seemed like we struggled when once we kind of lost our midfield, the two main ones, especially in the 3-4-3. So when we lost Sheaf and James, that hurt us quite a bit.
Well, we had to go back to 3 in the middle, which
yeah,
is the problem. We had to cover by putting 3 back in the middle.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm kind of some of these guys can kind of do a little bit of both. I've kind of been thinking like you can make the argument that I would like to see one Jordan James type that can get forward and add to the attack. I don't think we can get Jordan James. Now he's not in my list because I think he's going to end up going somewhere big for big money. So I'm kind of past that one. If we were going to get him, it would have been last summer. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. But also, you see, Chris just hit on it there. Young Matty time. Yeah, see, and Matty James isn't the type of player that really is going to pop up and score a bunch of goals. So I think what he get one this season, he's not, it's not like he's a goal threat, but he is a player that can just hold on to the ball in the midfield and not turn it over. And just when we need somebody to just hold on to it, he's that guy. And I think that's what we missed because I think Sheaf can do that as well. We just lacked a midfielder that could just hold on to the ball and not give it away cheaply at certain times, especially when we were playing the midfield too, because I think it was some of the passing's a little more difficult sometimes, especially the way we play very direct. So once we get on the ball, you get players getting forward. So it's not like we're building up short through the whole field. We're usually by the time it's getting to the midfield, you're looking to get it. We're looking to get it up to our forwards or have that midfielder carry it up. And we need somebody like that. So a couple of these guys, we've been linked with a couple of them. Some of them we haven't, but I think they all kind of give some of that. But also, you want somebody who can break shit up defensively too. It's good. Occasionally, you need that Dobson type thing and just cause issues defensively.
Yeah, if we're playing the box midfield with the two solid defensive roles, you're not necessarily looking for Jordan James there. You need the two at the back who are just solid, hold everything down, know exactly what they're doing. And then as you see with Jordan James, he comes in every so often with an absolute rocket from outside the box when he comes up late. So if you were to take the role that he plays and have him younger, faster, but still doing exactly what he does now, that's exactly what you're looking for. So for improving the team this summer, for me, it's the both wing backs and our defensive mid role is what I would worry about this summer. Now, see who else we can get on top of that to fill in the rest. But the following summer then for me would be your striker, number 10 or whatever, your goalkeeper, and then your defense line. Someone at the back, a monster there to kind of hold up that back line. But I think on those roles, they can hold off for another season, for me.
Okay, so let's pull this back up. And let's go to our defensive mids. First up, Dan Neal. I think this is a no-brainer. I don't think we've been actually, connected to him by anybody. but it is just kind of the no-brainer signing. I did put up his stats from the season he played with Sunderland, so not this past season, but the season before. Just because he played more games, so he didn't play quite as much at Ipswich last season. He came in January, and then I think it took him a little bit before they really got him going. He had good stats, but I went ahead and I figured it's easier. Let's see what it looks like in a full season in the Championship. So this is his season from a couple years ago, but he's 24, 5'10". He played 44 matches, started all 44 of them in that Sunderland promotion campaign. He had 2 goals and 3 assists. His accurate passes per 90 was 37.4. Tackles per 90, 1.88, and interceptions per 90 was 1.07. They got him at a market value around 3. Oh, we back? Did I freeze up?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Either you or me, but yeah, you were gone.
I think it was me because my screen went. I was getting circles. So my internet's been doing that today for some reason. That's happened a couple times. So it was probably definitely me. Anyway, Dan Neal played under Parky at Sunderland, I believe. I think that's right. Interestingly, I know during the season when we played Ipswich, after the game was over, him and Parky were having a nice little conversation. They were showing. It was kind of an accident. It's not like they did it on purpose, but it was in the post-game show. What do they call it? The match day live show that the club does. We were watching. I was watching it, and it just they were just talking, but in the background you could see Parky and Dan Neal just standing there. They had like a nice 5-minute conversation, and I'm like, all right, all right, I take that. Bring him in. So yeah, Dan Neal I think is fantastic, and again, young enough that he's probably going to get better. But he's just coming into his prime. Maybe not even quite yet. But he's a good player. He's good on the ball. He's a good defensive midfield. Defensively actually gets involved defensively. I really like him. I think he question somebody see would Neal start for us? I think he would. I think he absolutely starts for us. I think he walks right into the team if he comes in. So I think Dan Neal would be. I think he'd be a fantastic signing. And I know we talked about him in January too. I was hoping we'd get him, but Ipswich obviously got that one over the line, which I understand why he'd want to go to Ipswich. Thinking of looking to get promoted. But they're not buying him, so he's off on a free. So what do you think? What do you think about Dan Neal?
Perfect age profile. Is he completely on a free now?
Yeah, he's free. Absolutely free.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. That's a big deal.
Yeah, I think they probably. I don't think it was an option. I think it was just they could have. I mean, obviously Ipswich could have signed him on a free, but I think because of the promotion, it kind of left him. Yeah. There, he's kind of one of those that's probably he's really good in the Championship, but not quite a Premier League player.
Not quite ready yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, John.
He's surprised it. Yeah. It's a cheap deal to have someone on the squad.
Right.
You know what I mean? At a right age profile. So they're obviously looking on going big. If they weren't willing to give him a spot.
That being said, Sunderland went up and didn't use him either. You know what I mean? So obviously it's teams don't think he's quite ready for the Prem. But he's a really good operator at this level. You know what I mean? I think he's fantastic. I think he'd fit us. I think he'd be great for us.
And as you said, he still has room to improve. So 2 or 3 seasons with us, 2 seasons, let's say at least.
Yeah.
2 seasons with us, and he could be ready to be part of a squad. Then maybe not a guaranteed starter, of course, but a solid squad option. If he gets a bit better next 2 seasons.
Yeah, for sure. I think Atkins at the price, it's a no-brainer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's free. I mean, obviously he's going to be on good wages, but he's on a free. So what are we?
On a free, you can afford the wages because you're saving.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's just not that big a deal. So yeah, I'm totally in on Dan Neal. I'd love to have Dan Neal. But so that's one of the more obvious ones. I think most of the playoff contending teams are going to be hoping to sign Dan Neal. I think everybody's going to be in for Dan Neal probably. But anyway, let's move on to another. See what we think here. John, that's a good question. I wonder if the manager situation at Ipswich had any impact. Would it though? I mean, he's leaving. But he wouldn't have known that until what, 2 days ago? So I don't think it was known that he was leaving. And Dan Neal was kind of already floated as off. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
but I wonder the other way around. Now, of course, Dan Neal might not have known about it, but on the other side, Ipswich, if they knew there were changes and stuff happening, maybe it wasn't worth buying him before a new manager comes in and says, "Well, why did you sign to a contract? I'm not going to use him." So
that's true. That's fair. That's fair. Fair point. All right, we'll move on. Aiden Morris. Now, this one I think is probably going to be a tough one. I don't think they'll sell him, but I couldn't help but throw him in there. Aiden Morris, he's 24, 5'10", played 40 matches, started 20 or 37 of them. No goals, but 3 assists. His accurate passes 67.2 per 90, tackles 2.64 per 90, interceptions 0.93 per 90. They've got him at a market value of 8.6. I doubt they'd sell him for that. He is American. He's been in around the national team. He was in it recently, but obviously didn't make the World Cup spot. I don't think he did. I don't believe he did. But Aiden Morris is unbelievable. But I think when you factor in the fact that they're definitely selling Hayden Hackney this summer, I doubt they'd want to dismantle their midfield completely.
Yeah.
And he's a really good player. Oh yeah, there is a goal. We got a goal for the Dutch. I missed it.
In off the post.
Got it. Who was that? Is that Van Dijk?
Yep. Not sure.
Yep. Virgil van Dijk with a big header puts it in. Yeah. So there you go. Another one's is up. Anyway, back to Aiden Morris. Yeah, Aiden Morris he's a smooth operator, man. He does so good. Let's see. John was impressed with Morris last season. With Hackney going, there's no chance they let him go. That's kind of what I'm thinking too. I don't think they do it. I just don't. You're not going to want to just completely rip up your midfield like that. But man, if you could do it, he'd be great. And talking about a player that at this level, he's doing it at a high level. He absolutely comes in and starts for us, hands down, no question. He's a high quality player. Was really good. And it was funny. Me and you, I think, Patty, had talked. I think it was. I don't know if it's the end of last season or 2 season. Not the 25-26 season, but the 24-25 season. I think me and you were talking about. Are there any Americans that we could get in? And I had mentioned Aiden Morris that time as one that there's possibilities playing in the championship. He does pretty well, but could we get him? I do think he's on a shorter term deal. I think it's up in 28. I could double check my work on that, but I think he's up in 28. So it's not next. This isn't his last season, but he's not. It's not soon, or it's not far off. So
if they have a bad season this year, I could see him leaving next summer.
Yeah, maybe it'd be a year, and then maybe he goes somewhere. But then again,
They'd
give
have
him
to
another
cash in
year,
on him.
another year in the championship, and he may be going to the Premier League. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Depending on how
maybe.
well he does, he may not want to stay.
But like if they have a bad season and he doesn't get the
doesn't
opportunity
maybe
quite
doesn't look
show off, he'll be
Mhm.
looking to move to a more solidly promoting side because Middlesbrough need to make the most of this now, or they'll be on the slide.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I might be one of the only ones. I think they are. I think they're in trouble. I think if you look at the end of the season, last season, I think they only won like 2 of their last like 15 games or something like that.
Yeah,
they were not on a good run. I think there's a chance that they could have a rough go next season. Could be. I mean, obviously, could be wrong, but I don't know. I'm not sold on them. Without Hayden Hackney, I'm not sold on them. But anyway, beyond all that, Aiden Morris is unbelievable and would be an unbelievable signing if he could pull it off. But I think, as John alluded to, and like I said, with knowing that you're selling Hackney, I think it's doubtful that they'd sell him.
Yeah.
Plus, you're selling him to a team that you're directly going to be in competition with.
Yeah.
I mean, God, can you imagine the Middlesbrough fans would not be happy if they sold him. They'd be absolutely, not happy. See, John says if the manager goes linked to Ipswich, they could be in the. Yeah, I didn't know he was linked with Ipswich. I don't think I think he was starting to come apart. I'll be honest with you. And if you look at his whole run in its entirety when he got there, he started real strong, looked really good. They went on a really good run, and then they went on a really bad run. Really bad run. And then they kind of got it back together and did okay, but then finished the season off with another really bad run. Like I don't think he's as good as I don't think he's as good a manager as everybody's giving him credit for. I think he's getting a lot of credit that he doesn't deserve. I'm not sold on can't think of his name off the top of my head, but I'm not
Kim
sold
Holland.
on.
I remember this now that John has kind of reminded me that Middlesbrough did come out and say that they had given Hellberg permission to speak with Ipswich about the vacant manager role.
Wow,
that they do not want. They do not. Yeah, no, they did. They said they do not want him to go. However, he kind of I think they implied it was like he's desperate to manage in the Premier League or something, and they had to allow him to have discussions.
Yeah.
So that just basically says he told him, "Look, you're not going to fucking hold me back if I get the opportunity.
Yeah.
We're not going to have a good relationship if you refuse to allow me to discuss this."
Yeah.
So basically, it's let's see what happens. But yeah, if he goes, they're on another start. Then again, these manager changes, they're not always the best thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, could be trouble if he does go.
Ricky says Morris and Chief together would control every game. I know they would. I think
it'd be nasty. Yeah.
It'd be unbelievable. So like I said, it'd be a tough one, and I actually kind of struggled whether I wanted to include him or not. But
Japan scored.
What's that? Oh, did they? I missed. Oh, you're 20 seconds ahead of me, bum.
Wait for it. It's coming.
I'm just getting ready to see it. Here it comes. Oh yeah. Oh, cross. No. Maybe. Oh, back. Where's he score? Oh, no way. I think that's poor goalkeeping. I think it's just bad goalkeeping. He's got to get to that. What was he doing? He's like he was sleeping. Oh, wowzers. Because I didn't think maybe he just couldn't see it. Maybe he was unsighted, I guess. Wow. What an equalizer. That's massive. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next one.
Oh, there was a flick.
Did somebody? Was there a flick?
Someone got a deflection on.
All right, I didn't realize that. Okay, I'll lay off. I'll lay off of him a little bit. He said, "Kyogo for this." Let's see. Who got a flick? I didn't see the flick. Did you? Which one is it? I'm looking. Oh, yeah, that's tough. It wasn't. He did get his own player. That sucks. Okay. Anyway, Ethan Galbraith. Obviously, we've been linked to him. Wrexham, Tennessee says, I love this just because it's going to piss off Swansea fans. Yeah. I mean, there is that. But beyond that, he's also a really good player.
And after we took one of their best female players as well now.
Yeah. No, so, well, she was from Cardiff, I think. She was Cardiff.
Sorry, mixed up my teams.
Yeah, she was from Cardiff. Yeah.
Cardiff. Okay.
But yeah.
Let's go to all the Welsh teams. They know where to go.
Yeah, screw them.
Come on, Galbraith, walk away from them.
Yeah, Galbraith, I like. 3 goals, 1 assist.
You want to be.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, obviously, the rumors going around are, they've offered him a contract and he's turned it down. Now he's on I think he's still got like 3 years on his current contract. So he's not he's not one that's gonna he doesn't have to go. You know what I mean? But I think when you get a player that wants to go, obviously, and he's gonna want to make more money. Because I don't think he's on a ton. I know the rumor and you never know what you can believe on X, but it seems like the people in there from them, they're saying he's on around 8 right now or something, something similar. So he's not on a ton of money.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. John says, and this is one of the links, there are a few teams links. He does not, or he does think West Ham when Fernandez goes. Maybe it's possible. It's possible. I don't know though. It would be interesting to see what they end up doing because I feel like they may go for a high players that are more experienced at higher levels.
Yeah,
so I think they'll be able to afford them. You know what I mean? I mean, they're getting. To be honest, West Ham has been linked with every single player. They're like we were last year. They're linked with everybody. So it doesn't matter to the player. I think there's been links to West Ham. Or any decent player anyway. So yeah, he's 25 years old. He's 5'9", played 39 matches, started 36 of them, 3 goals, 1 assist. Accurate passes per 90, 49.6. Tackles per 91.56. Interceptions per 91.13. So he's really good defensive talent. Defensively, he does a really good job. And also, he can get forward and he creates things too. He creates issues and he can hold on to the ball. He's just another player that can step on the ball and keep it when you need him to.
Yeah.
And I would love to get Ethan Galbraith. So, I mean, you know what they say, when there's smoke, there's fire, and there's been quite a bit of smoke around us and Galbraith. So there is a chance that we get him. No guarantee though. So we'll see. I mean, I know we've kind of already talked about him, so it's hard to, because we've been linked so much, he's been talked about a ton. So I don't know if there's a ton that you could say about him that people haven't already known. You got anything on him? What do you think of Galbraith?
Yeah, I would like to have him. His age profile for himself, if he wants to get to the Prem, is not good. So if he gets the option of a West Ham or a Wolves, whenever he should jump for it. Just on the off chance they keep him if he goes up in 1 year, because he gets any older and certainly the Prem team, they're not coming in for him. Not unless he has an absolute amazing season. And if he does, that'll likely come on the back of the team getting top 2. Or maybe third. Look, if he drove the team there with a hell of a lot of work. But yeah, I don't see him going up anytime soon or being pulled out for the Prem in that way. So if he gets a shot at West Ham or someone, he should take it. And his head should be turned and he should force it at his age. But if it's just money, if it's just, I'm getting a bit older, I'm not on good money at Swansea, I signed a bad contract, I want out. In that scenario, maybe someone like us, where he would likely have a better shot of staying with us in the Prem if we got up there in the next 2 or 3 seasons. Because this, as weird as it sounds, this another goal, 2-1. As weird as it sounds, we're in that position right now where if you're of the right age profile, we're actually a good option for you if you believe we can go up in the next couple of seasons, because we don't have that absolute solid team of championship players that you're going to be fighting amongst. If you're good enough and you're coming in now, you're cementing your spot with us for the next couple of seasons if you keep playing well, and you will be the solid championship player for us with a shot of staying in the squad in the Prem. So, we're kind of in that flux zone that it's a good one to jump into. Whereas, like, if Galbraith goes to West Ham, he may never play. And that's it. They go up, you're getting dumped. That could be it. That could be his season. If he goes to West Ham, he plays a couple of games, he does okay, and he fights for his space with some other good players. And then the season is done. If they go up, they dump him. But if he's just after money, absolutely, it could be us. If he just wants a good contract with a solid team fighting for the Prem, who might keep him. Yeah. And I'd love to see this Swansea.
Yeah, he'd be great. Andrew C said when he was asked about the rest of Wrexham interested in him, he said it was nice. Yeah, I think he was kind of put on the spot. I don't think there was much he could say. You know what I mean? I don't think
with us.
It was. I mean, he was asked. I think he was on the international duty with Northern Ireland, I think, when he was asked about it, and I think he just basically just said it was nice being linked to other teams. It just means you're having a good season. It wasn't. I don't think there was. You know what I mean? I think he was just trying to be very politically correct there and just give the right answer. Not that he wasn't going to piss off anybody. Basically just
he's
say
still on a long-term contract.
Yeah,
he does. It's clear he wants to go to a better team. He wants a stronger contract. I think it's clear he's obviously not happy with the contract he signed with them, that he's kind of stuck in. So he's looking to get a move out, but he doesn't want to destroy the relationship he has either.
Right,
so
exactly.
He's being careful with his words.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't say. I mean, there's not much you could say. You know what I mean? It just that's a tough position for a player like that, especially if he is looking for a move. You know what I mean? He doesn't. You don't want to really. You don't want to look bad. So I get it. He's trying to say the right thing, just looking for the right thing to say there on the spot too. That's the other thing. But so yeah, I'm not too. I'm not going to read into that either way. I mean, because you could take it several different ways. Some people look at it and say, well, he was being sarcastic. It just kind of didn't sound like it was a great thing. And other people are like, oh, no, it sounded like he definitely wanted to go. And because I saw both arguments online. So people were arguing it both ways. And I think really the truth was probably somewhere in the middle. He just was trying to say what he needed to say to get out of the situation, get past it and get to the next question. But anyway, diplomatic, I think that's definitely the word for it. Esteban. Okay, so I think we've talked enough about Ethan. I think everybody knows he's a fantastic player and he'd be a great addition for us. So, love to have him. But let's move on. I think I got one more. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think that was our third. Yes. Okay, here's one, and I might get some pushback on this one, but I think it's a good one. Harry Winks. Harry Winks, I think we were linked for one. We were linked to him, so that is interesting. The fact that he's at Leicester, who just went down, so he'll be looking to get out, makes a lot of sense. Now he's 30, so he's not a young guy, but he's not 35 either. You know, and see, like already. Drunk you add him to your list. No, I wasn't drunk. I think he does what we were missing when we needed a midfielder. I think he holds on to the ball. And he's I think when you look at it from that perspective, I think it makes a lot of sense. And so I can understand why, if we were asking the question, because like I said, I mean, because that was one of the, it wasn't just like a BS reporter that didn't cover. I think that came from, I think it was Ron Rourke actually. So I mean, it was probably, we probably asked the question. Expensive, but he's on a short-term contract, so you could renegotiate it, John. You could negotiate that contract down and split it up if you give him a extra year on the contract and break it up a little bit. You could make all that work, and you're going to get him cheap because they're not going to be able to sell him for nothing. So as far as a transfer fee, but he's got Premier League experience, a lot of it. He's a high-level player. And it's already been posted in the chat. Definitely had some issues with fans at Leicester. I do think that, I mean, obviously I wasn't there, so you don't know what was said. It never looks good for a player when he says something, when he claps back at fans,
Yeah.
But you also don't know what was said, so I'm not gonna. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. They'll give him away, and they want 90K a week gone. But here's the thing: I think you can. He's gotten 90K a week only for another year, John. So if you say, well, we're not going to give you 90K, but we'll give you 30 over 3, I think it gets a little more realistic. Or maybe you give him some, because the transfer fee is so small, you make pay him 20, and then give him a sign-on bonus. I think you can make it work. I really do. I think you can make the deal work, and him still get his money.
I think for me this is depending on how badly Leicester need him off the books and who's going to pay him, because
and here's the other thing:
if he's at 90 grand, no one's paying him.
Nobody's paying him 90 grand. Absolutely nobody's paying him 90
what
grand.
are Leicester also willing to chip in?
So yeah, Leicester are going to have to chip in. He's going to want, if he wants to play, he's going to have to work with people. You can make that deal work. You can absolutely make that deal work. Like I said, if you give him an extra year, and drop that, you can get that wage dropped. I think you can make it work, where he's still getting his money, but it makes more sense per year. But how long of a contract do you want to give him? I mean, I think ideally 2 would be about the max I'd want to give him. But if you get the wages down by giving him an extra year, maybe it makes more sense. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's but like I said, he's absolutely is the guy that could step in there and hold on to the ball, and nobody. Yeah, I mean, he can absolutely do that at this level. He's good enough to do it. So, I understand why we're looking at him. Again, this is one that I knew I was going to get pushed back on this one, but I thinking about it, knowing that we got linked, and knowing, like, just looking into it, it's like, yeah, it makes sense. Like, I totally understand why we would have been looking at him. Not to say he's for sure going to be the one we go with, but he's definitely, we were looking at it. You know what I mean? It makes sense why we were looking at it. So, yeah, not as strong defensively. I will say that. I mean, he does get 1 point. What is that? Is it 6? Yeah, 6-1, 1.61 tackles per 90. A little less on the interception, 0.74. So he's not quite as good defensively as some of the other options, but I think he can absolutely hold on to the ball when we need to. John says he'd rather have Matty James. Maybe.
Yeah, I think he's too expensive and too much of a risk. So for me, he would be a couple of spots down the line as an option for me. Multiple other players you would probably have ahead of him.
I agree with that.
He's a solid player if you have to bring someone in at the end.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you could do it.
Yeah, he wouldn't be my first choice, But if you got to the end of the window and you got him, I think I would be okay with it. Especially, like I said, just depends on the deal. Depends on the deal. So there's my defensive mids. Got a thing ready, Patty? Or have you done it yet? All right, cool.
Start show. Boom.
Here we go. See what the chat thinks of this.
1,
I
2,
bet Harry
3,
Winks doesn't
4.
get.
Nothing.
I bet Harry doesn't get very many votes.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Problem is, I would love Aidan Morris. I think there's no shot we get him. Perfect option. Yeah. Dan Neal. Solid.
You see you voted for Winks.
So that's John. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew it. As soon as I saw it pop up, I was like, yeah. What is Sealord doing with 5?
He says 5. He doesn't like any of them, apparently. Sealord said, screw you guys. That's not my guy. He's got somebody. Sealord's got somebody in mind, and it ain't one of those 4. Shoot. MV says voted for Neil, but Galbraith would be my pick if there was any chance, but there isn't, in my opinion. Maybe. Let's see.
That's fine.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
John says Sealord's been at sea too long. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, out of all these, I think Daniel is probably the most likely.
Yeah. Maybe. He's getting all the votes. Everybody's going there. You don't have to vote who you think we're going to get. To vote who you want to get. You don't have to vote for, if you think, even if you think we can't get Aidan Morris and you like him, vote for Aidan Morris. Who would you want? Berhalter. Yeah. We'll see. He might be at Derby next season. There's rumors linking him to Derby, so might get to see him. Might get to see him.
Yeah.
Let's see. Andrew C says he wants Charlie Savage. I wanted Charlie Savage.
No, Charlie Savage
last season.
Ago.
I think last season I was in for Charlie Savage. Now I'm kind of.
Now he can fuck off. He's on my list of fuck off.
Fuck off.
You didn't want us back then. We don't want you now. Bye.
Chris Phillips says Gilberto Mora. By far the best too. Yeah, I think so. I think Aidan Morris would be awesome. Love to have Aidan Morris. But let's see. All right. Well, so we're about an hour and a half in. I do have some extras.
Okay.
That I didn't. Do you want to get into those? We don't have to spend a ton of time on them, but I've got 4 extras. I think it's 2 defensive midfielders and 2 attacking mids. So these are guys that didn't quite make the cut, but I figured since it was going to be a little shorter show anyway, I could throw them in there. So let's see what everybody thinks about these guys. So the first one, and I'll be honest with you, this is Brian de Kirschmacher, and I debated back and forth. I went back and forth a couple times between him and Winks. Because I really like him, but I think he might be. I think I valued the fact that Winks probably holds on to the ball better than de Kirschmacher. I think he's more of a Dobson type, where he can be a destroyer if you need him to be. Really good defensively. He's really good midfield. He's good on the ball. Don't get me wrong. He's really good. I think he's probably better than Dobson. I even looked up his stats. If you look at him and Dobson's stats, he's better getting forward. He gets involved. Tell you what, you make some money on replicate kits if you get his name on the back. What a name. Oh, Lord. Do you have to pay extra for de Kirschmacher? There's a lot of letters there. He's I liked him. He played at Oxford. Now he got injured in early January, maybe late December. but it was a shoulder injury, so I don't think it's something that's going to really affect him. You know what I mean? It wasn't like it was a knee. Yeah, I think a shoulder I'd be less concerned about. He did miss the whole rest of the season, but he was kind of. I mean, if you look at his numbers, I mean, he was on track to have an unbelievable season. I mean, he might have kept them up. You know, they probably could have used him. But yeah, I thought he was really good. But like I said, I think he's probably a little more of a defensive guy, and obviously good, decent getting forward stats, good assists. He did get one goal. But yeah, he what did I do? I think I put a point in the wrong place on both of those. I think it's supposed to be 2.96 accurate passes per 90. Or no, that's 29.6. That's right. And then the tackles per 90 should have been 2.12. That's what it is. So 2.12 tackles per 90, 1.28 interceptions per 90, which is pretty average of the guys that I've been using so far, and they're all really good defensively. So Millwall link yesterday, that made sense. He plays like that. It actually does make a lot of sense. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I haven't seen that, but yeah, Millwall going for him would make a ton of sense actually. I can see Derby going for him too. I think I could see that. But anyway, good save. Japan about scored there. Anywho, so there's him. I don't know if anybody paid much attention to him in the chat. Doesn't look like anybody's saying much about him. So let's move on. See what else we got. Attacking mid. This is an interesting one. I like him. And it's funny because we were linked with a player from Blackburn, but it was the other one. It was Tom. Crap, blanking on his name. The one we were actually linked to. Crap. What was his name? I can't remember. Anyway, I don't even know how to say his first name. Ryo Morishita. He's 29. He's 5'7", but four goals, 9 assists. Chances created per 90, 1.45. 0.95 successful dribbles. He's be a cheap player, you know. Yeah, he's I think obviously it's not one that I would go out and say, yeah, let's go get him right now. But it's another one of those, you get towards the end of the window and maybe you've made some room in the squad and you think you want another one of those 10s. I think you bring him in. You know what I mean? I really like him. I think he's an exciting player. But I kind of left him off because he definitely wouldn't be like my first choice. But yeah, I like him. I like Morishita quite a bit. Quite a bit. What's everybody else think? What do you think, Patty? Have you got anything on him?
A little old for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Got to see him run though. Watch a little video on he reminds you of Sakamoto, and I'm not just saying it because he's Japanese. Like that's how he plays. Pesky player, perfect. Yes, Andrew C. That's exactly the way I would describe pesky. He just he's all over the place, man. Even for a 29, he looks 23, runs like crazy, and doesn't run out of. He looked good in a terrible Blackburn side. Yeah, I mean, and that's fair. I agree.
Yeah.
I thought he looked good. What would he do in a good side? I like him. I like him quite a bit, and I think you can get him for next to nothing. But I don't know. We'll see. I like him quite a bit, but he wasn't. Let's put it this way: I didn't think he was good enough to put him in my first list. You know what I mean? I didn't. Didn't think he was quite that, but he's definitely pesky player. I like that. That's exactly how I would. That's perfect. It's a perfect way to describe him. But yeah, he's fun to watch. You watch a little videotape on him, Patty. I think you'll like him. You'll see it. You'll understand. Let's move on. Let's check another one out. Who I got next? Oh, here we go. Gyro Riedewald. He's from the Netherlands. Another one is 29. Sheffield United released him. Well, didn't release him, but they just didn't re-sign him. Let him go on a free. And that was really, there was a lot of people that were kind of taken aback by that because they really didn't expect that. And it might have been wages part of it. Good player wages part are an issue. I don't know what his wages are. I have no idea. So I just know like most of the Sheffield United fans were upset when that come out when their retained list come out, and he was not retained. there was a lot of what the fuck type stuff. Not happy about it. His stats don't blow me away though. I'll be honest with you. Like he was, I know he's a good player for them. But he wasn't like a, defensively. I think he would help. I mean, his tackles per 90 are pretty good. Interceptions per 90 are pretty good. I mean, he fits right into most of the guys on this list. So I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up. Because he'll go somewhere. But I know the way the United fans, a lot of them were talking about him, especially when it first came out. They were like, was one of our best midfielders. You know what I mean? He kind of when they were playing well, I think he had just come in and was playing well because he came in for just like the second half of the season, basically. I think he came in January. North of 45K, that's rich. Yeah, I wouldn't pay that for him. Yeah. John says his demands are north of 45K, which is rich for Sheffield United, which now are going full on kill. Yeah, which it does make sense. Yeah, that's a lot. I don't know where he gets off demanding that much.
I wouldn't be paying him that.
No, definitely wouldn't be. 20 maybe. I think they had said he was on 15 or something. Maybe it was 20. I mean, if you get him around there, it would be, I think he's a good midfielder. But obviously not. I wasn't going to put him in the list. I didn't think he was quite there. But defensively, I think he'd help us out a little bit. Anyway, I'll move on. I think I've got one more. Vinny Souza. Yes, I forgot about this one. So Vinny Souza is an interesting one. He left Sheffield United at the end a couple seasons ago. Went to Wolfsburg. They've gotten relegated, and he played pretty well. I don't know that he'd come back to the championship, but I also don't think he's going to stay at Wolfsburg. He's not going to drop down to the second division. They're going to sell some players. It's already been he's one of the names been talked about. There is some low-level Bundesliga teams that I think were interested. I didn't see anything that was like, none of the standout teams were like, oh yeah, they're in for him. I know he was fucking good here. You know what I mean? He was good for them. He was good for United. So it's another one I think is probably a stretch. I doubt he'd want to come back to the championship. I think he left for a reason, probably. But man, if you could get him, it'd be one of those, like, if you could get him, it'd be awesome. Yeah, I know Sheffield United fans go on and on about this. I thought he was great.
Well, see, the problem is he may have gone back in order to be at a better league. Therefore, his move is deemed a promotion.
Yeah.
And now they're after getting relegated, so it's
no relegated. Yeah, exactly.
And his stock has taken a dump with the team.
Yeah.
So maybe coming back to the championship to a promotion fighting team. Maybe.
Yeah. See, okay. I could see West Ham going for him. You know what I mean? I could see West Ham going for a player like that over Galbraith. You know what I'm saying? I think that's one, because you think you could get to the Prem and think he might actually contribute and fill, because he did decent in the Bundesliga. He wasn't a bad player.
Yeah.
So
with the right team around him, he might actually be
right.
okay.
Yeah, exactly. I think you'd feel more comfortable with him going to if you're going up than Galbraith. But could be wrong. And they're similar ages. He's only 26, so it's not like he's miles older or anything.
Yeah.
Because Galbraith's 25. So, ooh, what a goal! Japan ties it up. What a header! I didn't even see who that was.
And you missed me say 2-2 as well.
Oh, did you? I didn't even hear you say it. I missed it. Was I yapping? I must have been yapping.
You are.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, I totally missed you say 2-2.
The deflection again.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Header off another head.
Oh,
off his other player's head.
Wowzers.
Free goals for the other player.
Let's see.
Because it deflects as well.
That is wild. Oh, wow. He said he didn't know nothing about it either. He's just like...
That was going into the ground.
Cool.
That was going into the ground.
Oh, shoot. I love that. That's funny. Oh, good stuff. Who gets that goal? Does the guy that got it bounced off his head score get that?
I assume so, because the first shot was going to hit the ground first. So the deflection should have been enough to get him the goal, is in my mind.
Wow. Oh, we're spoiling for Donna. Sorry, Donna. Telemundo.
We did say we're watching the match.
I'm sorry. Oh, geez. I don't want to spoil it, but the referee just killed a Japanese player. He swiped you out. Esteban says mine's not. Oh, you watching it on Peacock too, Esteban? I'm watching it on Fox One, the streaming, so I'm streaming it. So I might be different than you guys. But yeah. What we got? A few minutes left. Oh shoot.
6 minutes extra time.
Yeah.
This is a very important match for both teams.
Yeah.
Because this could dictate who wins, but now a draw keeps them both in it, which is quite good for them.
Wowzers. What group, who's else is in that group? I'm gonna look it up.
Let me look back.
Group F. So is it Sweden, Tunisia? Is that all? That's Group F also? Okay. So Sweden, Tunisia is tonight. They play a little bit later. And they play after the Ivory Coast Ecuador game. So that's a nasty little group there, I think. You know what I mean? None of the teams are unbelievable, but none of them are. You know what I mean? Would you be really surprised if any of those teams qualified out of there?
Yeah, a draw for Japan was much more important than for Netherlands, I think, because Netherlands should win this group, but Japan might have been in a little bit of trouble, kind of, if they didn't take anything out of this. At least for winning it, that might have sealed them not winning it. So we'll see. Makes it interesting now if the other teams pull off anything big.
Yeah.
Sweden and Tunisia.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it makes that game really important, because if you can get a win, in that game, you feel pretty good. I mean, that was just like for Scotland last night. Scotland getting a win was big because the other two teams drew. Let's see, commercials are. Yeah. Are you saying that, Esteban? Are you saying that they're not breaking commercial during? Is that Telemundo? You mean is doing that? Aren't breaking? Because I am getting the breaks on the.
No, he's being sarcastic.
Oh,
they're not breaking for hydration breaks my ass, basically.
No, he's saying they're. Well, yeah, but he's saying they're not going to commercial during the breaks. We are, because mine are like when they go to the hydration break, I get commercials. Oh.
Oh, well, maybe just because it's a different channel, because in other countries they're not showing commercials.
Really?
During the hydration breaks, but in the US,
we are. Yeah, well, I am for, which doesn't surprise me, but
all right, guys. I put up the voting for the last 4. Which one would you take? Seems like everyone's lost us. They've all jumped out. Maybe
I gotta get in there. I'm gonna use the local pundit chat. Peacock doesn't do commercials. Cool. I'm gonna go with Kirschmer. There you go. Ah. It's at halftime. Okay. Because they can get away with it. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, Sealord. We're kind of used to it. It'd be kind of weird if we didn't get commercials. Oh man. No, it's interesting. I do like. I mean, I've liked the coverage so far of the World Cup. It's been pretty good. Alexi Lawless has had a couple stinkers, but no surprises there. He usually says something stupid. I will say, I don't. Are you guys getting? Are you getting any of the? Are you getting any of the Zlatan Ibrahimovic stuff? Have you seen any of that?
I've seen some online, but I haven't.
I'll be honest. He's kind of hard to listen to. Like he's very he's not. I don't think he's very good at the punditry. Let's put it that way. I think he's. I don't know. He's too full of himself for it. I think. You know what I mean? He's definitely too full of himself. But he just. I don't know. They can. I don't know. His answers are always kind of wandering and never really understand exactly what the hell he's trying to say. Terry Henry's really good though. Unpopular opinions. Dude, he does my head in too. I've been struggling trying to watch him. Have you seen any of it, John? Have you seen him? I don't know who you guys are getting during some of your coverage, but I imagine it's probably just the Americans that are getting Terry Henry and Zlatan and Alexi Lawless. Those are our 3 pundits we're getting for most of the time. We did have before this, was it this game or the other game? Today we had I think it was before the German game actually. We had what's his name, goalkeeper, Peter Schmeichel. Ed Schmeichel. And he's good. I like listening to him. I think he does pretty well. Okay. Yeah.
Finished 2-2.
Yep. 2-2. All right. Well, no clear winner. Somebody's got to vote. Somebody's got to vote here. We got to break this tie. We can't leave it tied. Sounds like he does. You know that character is, as Donna. That character is absolutely based on Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Like, there's no chance that character. I can't remember
that was clear. That was clear.
I think it was very much.
Zava.
Yeah, he was very, very much based on Zlatan. Absolutely. Oh shoot. Oh. That's good stuff. I'll tell you what, I've seen about enough commercials with fucking David Beckham on them, though. Good Lord, it seems like every other one he's in. What else we got? There we go. Now we're starting to get some votes in. And are we still? No, Vinny Sousa's taking the lead. I think that's probably the smart choice. If you could make that one happen, that'd be a outstanding get. Oh shoot. Well, all right. Game's over. We went through all the players. Everybody's voted. Well, I don't know. That wraps up our all of our shows for our pre-window shows. Window opens tomorrow.
Decent options for the midfield, though.
Yeah,
and reasonable options for players.
dude, there's so many more too. I had to cut it back, and I did on all the shows. I cut it way back. I kind of went with most of them on that first show with the strikers, but once I kind of figured out, okay, we can do 4 at a time, I cut it back a little bit. Oh no, oh god, we were just getting to close out a really good show, and then we just get some weird Australian Yahoo hop in. What's this guy doing?
I'm in. I got rid of I had you on YouTube. I was watching the game. Just wanted to come in and say we're going to own you on Friday. It's going to be. We're going to own you.
No way. There's no chance. Did you not see that demolition that we gave to the Paraguayans?
I will say, America played a bloody awesome first game.
Surprised me. It surprised the hell out of me. I'll be honest.
Peaked too early.
Yeah. That's right.
Might have peaked
Paddy
too
said
early.
it. Paddy said it. They peaked. But then again, I was surprised with how well we played too. I actually didn't expect either side to play as well as that.
Yeah. What'd you think of the keeper, the young kid?
Oh my God, Beach! Yeah, what a beast! And he's only playing for Melbourne Victory down here in the A League, which I said last season when we talked about it, that I rate the A League as the top end of League One.
Yeah.
So he's got to get picked up by somebody after that performance.
We were talking about him earlier because somebody had asked the question about him, what we thought of him, and I was like, I think if we made a move, it'd probably be for somebody more experienced in the championship. But
I think it's a mistake.
He looked good. He looked really good.
Because you get him for a good price, and you could actually make money off him.
Yeah, and if Burton goes,
right,
and we still have the other two,
mm-hmm.
bring him in.
Yeah.
And have all three of them fight. That'd be fun.
I'd imagine whoever his manager is now, if he should be getting a lot of interest, wherever he does go, he'd want to play.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, look, Paddy, this is my chance to do a bit of smack talk with Aaron. What do you reckon the score prediction is for them USA v Australia, Aaron?
Well, I mean, we beat Paraguay 4-1, so we'll probably beat you guys, 8-0? Something like that? That's how Paddy said I'm out.
Wow. Okay. Well, so you really think we're going to beat you by that much?
No, I'd be happy with as long as we win, I don't care. I don't care. I really don't care. I just can't let you beat me. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't care so much. But because of you, I absolutely cannot lose to Australia. That can't happen. That can't be a thing.
I cannot wait for the watch along. I think it's going to be great fun. I think it's going to be very interesting. It's like
Speaking of, I didn't realize the game starts so early. I might be a few minutes late getting home to that, but I'll be on. I'll definitely get home and get on, but I might be a few minutes late. We'll see.
Yeah, it's a 5 a.m. start for me, which is perfect because it's on Sunday, which is my busiest day for work, and which means I'll be able to watch the whole game and then go to work.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, look, Urin Kunda suits.
Oh, he looked good.
Suits playing for Australia better than he does playing for Watford.
Probably.
He just does. Yeah. The way Watford plays doesn't really suit Urin Kunda, and like we've set up with Torre and him at the front. And I tell you who I want, and he doesn't. And he scored a goal, but he doesn't. It's his first ever goal for Australia. Is Metcalf. He's like a guy in the midfield that makes everybody else. He's the Matty James, Ben Sheaf guy that starts in front of them.
Yeah. That's
so,
what we've been talking about today. Those are the roles that's what we went over today. talking about players like that, all the midfielders. So
I see you had. I'll tell you what, you had some names in there, and that, what was that guy's name? It was about seven sets of the alphabet.
De Kirschmacher. Yeah. There's way too many vowels. I know that. Way too many vowels in it.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Yep.
But no, so well, mate, great show today. Long show.
Yep. But,
you guys.
all right, buddy. Well, yeah, we were just getting ready to close it out. So
I just thought I'd quickly come in and say Australia's going to beat the USA. I don't care. I will say that while I'm here, I managed to get Liz Jones's gift, perfect gift. So
there we go.
For the footy tipping competition.
Nice.
And I don't have I do have a picture of it, but I haven't got it set up here for this show. What she wanted. Have you been watching Welcome to Wrexham?
I'm behind, but I have been. I've not caught up with the latest shows.
Have you seen the recycled teddy bears?
Yes, I did. I did see those.
That's what she's got.
Nice.
Got one of them. They had run out. They specially made one for her. I pulled some strings. In other words, I sent an email and said, "I have one." And God bless Liz, who's in Mexico, but has a sister in the UK. So I got to send it to her sister.
There you go. There you go. That'll make it so bad, huh? Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So that
good stuff.
Bloody awesome. Yeah. So no, great show. Sorry to hijack it.
That's okay. Hey, I don't know, we haven't talked about this, but we are banning John from the competition next season, right? Like, we can't let him beat us again.
Well, no, I don't think he can win next season, not with the new rules I'll be installing.
There you go. Fair enough.
And I don't know what they are yet, but it will mean John.
We'll figure it out. When we get there.
Well, mate,
screw John.
It's got to be you or me next season, doesn't it?
I mean, I'd hope so.
Well, actually, that's probably going to be Harry all over.
He might be too, yeah. Jesus.
I love this. Look at John. You mean I won Liz a teddy bear? I'm such a nice. You are not such a nice guy. Congratulations, Ted. Hope your golf tournament went well. Catching up.
All right.
So. Anyway, sorry, buddy. I'll get out. I'll let you shut out the show.
No, you're good. You can shut it down. You shut it down.
Okay. Well, guys, thanks for coming in for the transfer window. You know, I know that I put a lot into this show, really brought a lot of value, but Aaron has done an absolutely fantastic job. Do not forget to like, subscribe, tell your friends about it. I will have a cop construction show update this week. And then get ready for Saturday morning early in Australia, Friday in the US, Australia is coming to whip your ass. So on that bombshell, we will see you all again soon.
Bye, everybody.